you work for years and years and years to grow a business. And, the government says, well, yeah, even though you've been, paying all these taxes along the way, oh, you're also just going to have to pay some taxes because you were successful and you sold a business and now you have to pay all these capital gains. And our business really did start out of a need for family, and it sunsetted essentially uh, as the need for getting closer to extended family. So anyway, kind of a fun little loop there. But when I was looking at this 1031 exchange, was looking at everything I was going to have to do to be able to sell my company, move out of state, buy an investment out of state quickly at really astronomical prices at the moment. And I just never felt good about it. I felt like I was sort of the tail was wagging the dog a little bit, and I just couldn't quite get my head around doing that. I didn't want to obviously pay any more in tax than I was legally required to do so. And so I, was looking at other options, and Shay sent me a link to actually a podcast that you were doing with Joe Fairless talking about the DST. And so I listened to it and got really interested and really curious, called you, of course, and did the research over several months, actually. And then that transaction fell through, which is the one we were talking about right in the middle of COVID, and then circled back almost a year later and continued in that direction. And so we really didn't want to dump, you work for years and years and years to grow a business. And, the government says, well, yeah, even though you've been, paying all these taxes along the way, oh, you're also just going to have to pay some taxes because you were successful and you sold a business and now you have to pay all these capital gains. And so, that's the law. But are there other creative ways to at least delay that? Because the big element that the DST does, I believe, is it affords someone time. And time is obviously a precious commodity, if you will, but it is something that allows you to make, I think, wiser decisions. And, you don't get a whole lot of, at least, most people don't get the opportunity to sell a business many times in their lifetime. Some do, but I would say most people don't. So I wanted to make it count as much as possible. And so that's why we wanted to look at all options. And I believe that's one of the best things about the DST is it affords you time to make some decisions on what's best. Because when it really boils down to it, I believe we're stewards or managers of what we're given in this life. And so, you don't want to be hasty if you can avoid it. I understand sometimes the element of time is it's short in a transaction. You got to get it done. But the DST allows you to sort of pause time for a little bit and I believe make wiser decisions with the proceeds of the sale.